Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, the mayor is not here tonight. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, so I will be filling in for him. Please join me in saluting the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you could indulge me just for one moment. Very recently, Mayor Carpenter lost his dad, 92-year-old William G. Carpenter, who was a World War II veteran. A very interesting person. If you saw the article in the paper, he very early on in his life, and prior to his son being born, he worked over at Fenway Park and was one of the persons that did the scoreboard. And at the time, years ago, he spoke to Ted Williams pretty regularly. Ted Williams, being obviously the great ball player that he was, very competitive person, would check in with Bill's dad and another person about on the radio, because they would be listening. He'd have them listen to the New York sports scores so that he knew what the Yankees, the great players of the Yankees were doing, because of course he wanted to match or do better than what they were doing in New York here in Boston. So a very kind, very nice person, greatest generation World War II vet. So if we could, Madam Superintendent, do you want to say anything else? Or?
No, I agree. My condolences, obviously, to Mayor Carpenter and his entire family.
Mm-hmm. So thank you. And join me, please, for a moment of silence. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, normally the second item is our hearing of visitors. However, I believe there's something that Mr. Sullivan would like to present out of order.
Yes, I'd like to take an item out of order. It's under new business. It's the ratification of the MOA between the Brockton School Committee and the Teamsters Local 653, representing Brockton School Police, July 1, 2018 to June 30, 2021.
Okay, does anyone have, so you're making that a motion?
I'd like to make that a motion to take it
Okay.
out of order.
All in favor? Seconded? No one opposed? The floor is yours, Mr. Sullivan.
We have just recently met, it was like last Thursday or Friday of last week, and agreed to an agreement. I have it in front of us. And it was asked if we could bring it in front of the school committee tonight for its ratification. And the reason we wanted to get it done early, because the police department is here at this building, and they want to get back to work.
Okay. So, do you want to basically just sort of summarize a little bit, and then we can take a vote on ratification? Could you tell us who was involved in the negotiating, and who was on your team and who was on the other side?
Yes, it was, the chairman was myself, Mark D'Agostino, and Joyce Azak. You were there sometimes, weren't you? Brett Gormley was the other. Sorry. They split back and forth. I'm not sure who's
Such a
ever
small
there.
person. You miss Brett. You can't really see Brett too clearly. Yeah,
The Joyce is over 6 feet tall as well.
I know.
But we had over 10 meetings with the police, and everybody has agreed, as well as our attorneys, that this memorandum of agreement should be agreed to tonight.
Okay.
Covers the period.
Yep. Could you just let us know that this period is going to be starting from July 1st, 2018 through June 30th of 2021?
Correct.
Okay. And is there anyone else that would like to comment on this? No? Okay. So you want to make a motion then to ratify this, Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to ratify this MOA with the Brockton School Police.
Is there a second on the floor? Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Okay, great. I think it has gone around for people's signatures. Is it complete? Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the hard work that you and your team did, and obviously the school police. We appreciate, we have an addition, obviously, to our school police force, which is, very welcome. We value the role that all the school police officers do here in the city for our students and the safety of our students and staff. And we welcome all of the new officers, and I'm sure that they will be well-trained by our veteran officers and certainly our lieutenant in charge. So thank you all.
I'd like to echo that. I'd like to thank our school police for always being there, for, not just the safety, security, but also the education of our students, from our youngest students to making sure there are relationships built at the high school. So this is a fair agreement, and thank you for bargaining in good faith and also for what you do for our district.
Okay, we will go back to the agenda, and we will take up item 2, which is our hearing of visitors. Our hearing of visitors is an opportunity for members of the public to present to the school committee in a 3-minute time frame items of interest that they would like the school committee to take under consideration. It is not a back and forth between the school committee. It is simply notification of items, and the school committee would then make a decision or determination to take further action in whatever form. We could address the issue in a meeting, or we could direct the superintendent and/or other persons in the school district through the superintendent to take up a certain issue. So first on our list is Addison Shaw. Welcome, Addison. How are you?
Thank you to the Brockton School Committee for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Addison Shaw. I go to the Angelo School and am in 5th grade Miss Perlow's tag class. I am writing to you because of one reason I find important: styrofoam lunch trays. Do you know how much trash that makes for the schools, let alone the environment? I think you should use real lunch trays. Not the flimsy ones you use now, real plastic trays and real plastic plates, cups, and silverware. Also, styrofoam is known to affect human health. Because of some of the main ingredients in styrofoam, these chemicals can leak onto the food touching the styrofoam and contaminate it. And do you really want to put your students' health to a high risk? Since it is such a light material and it can float, it has accumulated on the coastlines of beaches. According to the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, Americans trash about 25 billion styrofoam cups, trays, and containers each year. That's even more than the Americans on Earth, 300 million. Also, it is non-biodegradable and appears to last forever. If you are very reluctant and don't want to get rid of these trays, they can be recycled, so at least we can have recycling bins in the cafeteria. Along with health risks, air pollution is another concern with styrofoam. The National Bureau of Standards Center for Fire Research has found that 57 chemical byproducts were released during the creation of styrofoam. This does not only pollute the air, but it also releases a liquid and solid toxic waste that requires proper disposal. This would also make less work for the custodians who take out the trash. Even though plastic costs more, you do not have to keep buying it and throwing them. Everything is connected. If you stop using styrofoam trays, less trucks will be out transporting them. Less trucks means less air pollution. Less air pollution means healthier people. There is no reason at all we have to use plastic forks, not to mention that they come in plastic and styrofoam trays. Please take this into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Addison. I think this is an issue that the school committee will take up we'll discuss it with the superintendent, and then do our due diligence and go in the direction in terms of talking to probably Mr. Petronio and Chartwells. So we will take some further action, and we will let you know of the next steps, so to speak, okay? Because I don't know exactly what steps we will take, but we will definitely look into it. Thank you very much. Superintendent, did you want to say something on that? Or?
No, I had the good fortune of being at the Angelo School today to speak to the 5th grade class. And Addison, I don't really think she knew I was coming. I kind of popped in and had this prepared, and I told her that we did have a school committee meeting, and she obviously presented this well. And I believe we did have a conversation about this. Was it a week ago?
First of all, I'd like to say I had no idea the speaker was coming. I'm waving to Brett. I did not set this up. But yes, we did discuss this at our last meeting when we found out that there are some funds that we have available through Chartwells. So I think the timing is perfect for this.
Great. Okay, good. Okay, second on our list is Micky Macri. Micky Macri. And you wanted to talk about Innovation School Idea?
Yes. So, hi everyone. My name is Micky Macri. Hello, everyone
Hi.
here. I'm a Brockton resident for about a year now, and I wanted to come here today to introduce myself because I have a vision for a school that I'm hoping it can be an innovation school. And I recently left my job where I was working for a Montessori school network, and I'm really excited about exploring the opportunities to create a school with that type of pedagogy within the Brockton Public School District. I want to talk to the community members, like all the community stakeholders, so school committee as well as parents and everyone else, educators, that this could impact. So I just wanted to put my face and my name out there to let you know that I will be reaching out to you because I'm hoping I can meet with you one-on-one, potentially join some of your subcommittees, just to learn more about your concerns and needs and any potential opportunities for this, that this could be work in the Brockton Public School District. Yeah, so I have a little one-pager that I brought for you, because I didn't want to take too much of your time. And it has my contact information on it as well. And I would appreciate any suggestions you have about how to reach out to people in the broader community as well. Yeah, so that's all. Thank you so much for your time. I'll pass these out.
Okay, thank you very much. We will take a look at it, and I guess we'll wait to hear from you because you're going to reach out to us, correct? Okay, thank you, Micky. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on our list is Francelina Resende to speak about parent engagement and tutoring. Good evening.
Hi, my name is Francina Resende. I graduated from Brockton High in 2008. I do have a 11-year-old who's completing 5th grade tomorrow. And I basically came today to express my concerns about tutoring and students who are falling behind, who have no help. So my daughter needs extreme help with math, and I've reached out to her teachers in the school for tutoring, and they have no information on tutoring. And tutoring outside of school is pretty expensive. I am currently working full-time, and I am a full-time student as well with one other child. So paying for services outside of school is kind of impossible. Sorry, I'm really nervous.
Oh, please, relax. Just take your time and
So-
take a deep breath.
So when speaking with her teachers about tutoring, they kind of brushed me off and said she should.
What school is this?
Davis School.
Davis, okay, thank you.
She kind of brushed me off and gave me the solution of allowing her to use an app. Some students don't learn through apps. Some students need a teacher, need someone to teach them and show them. Some students are visual learners, some auditory. It was mostly just me trying to take her to the library and finding math books. The way math is taught now, I graduated in 08, is like completely different already. So it's kind of hard for me to help her. So my suggestion is somehow, some way, and I actually took her out of the Brockton Public Schools. She's gonna be going to the charter school simply because I felt like they have so much extra help. Not everyone is on the same level where they can keep up with the curriculum throughout the year. My daughter is behind in math, and when I applied for the school, I was hoping that tutoring and extra help would be a priority to them, and it is. So that is why I really chose to take her out of where she knows, where she's been, so she doesn't fall behind, because I feel like she has a lot of potential. She just needs that extra help that the Davis School had no information about. And the charter school also has a great emphasis on parent involvement and engagement. I would love to help her with her math struggles. I just don't know how. And I wasn't really given any help or a solution as to how, or other than the math app that the school system provides for the school for the students. So I would suggest somehow involving parents and tutoring into one. I'm not sure how. Maybe an after-school program that parents can bring their children to, where they can get extra help and parents will be involved, so we ourselves can learn to give them the extra help on times that we can't bring them to the school.
So obviously the school year is ending. So what we can do is to try to find out if there's any summer programs that are available in the near term, so that this summer perhaps she can get involved and tune up on certain things that she may feel that she needs a little help with. So
Yeah, that would be
we have your number here. So I think we will have someone reach out to you and see if there's something available coming up for this summer, okay?
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, next we have Leah Serena for parent engagement. Good evening, how are you?
Good evening, good, how are you?
Good.
Malcolm X once said, if you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, that's not progress. If you pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress that comes from healing the wound that the blow made. They haven't begun to pull the knife out, and they won't even admit if the knife is there. A colleague of mine read this quote recently, and it resonated with me. As a Brockton graduate and now parent, I have felt and seen the knives in our backs. As a student, I saw and heard educators, administration, and the system get away with comments and actions that stabbed all children, but especially children of color. Last month, when Kathleen Smith referred to me as a nasty, angry woman and told me that my child could go to charter school, I was literally brought to tears, and the wound is still fresh. And she has yet to admit her wrongdoings, not only in this situation, but in other situations that I've called central office over the last 4 years. In 4 years, I have never been invited to my son's school besides for open house. I've never received a phone call of positive information. I've never received a way to contact my son's teacher, actually once. I've never felt heard by central office or administration, or felt like my child's identity was affirmed or respected in the school system, in his classroom or outside. So although I pondered whether to still come here and do this in light of Kathleen Smith leaving and the end of the year approaching, I'm here to encourage the new administration to know we are here and that we are watching. Despite your wishes, Ms. Superintendent, we're not going anywhere. And I will continue to advocate for my son and all Brockton students and parents until we are heard and offered positive solutions and suggestions to our concerns. Since our conversation has hit the media, I have taken around 60 phone calls and messages from parents and educators around the inequities across our school system, inequities around race, and inequities with special education students. It has literally brought me to tears, and it's so disheartening to hear that even our educators don't feel like they have a voice in the system. So the knife is still there, and we are watching, and I wish that next year we can continue to do more work with parent involvement and engagement and equity in the school systems and do something different. I'm hopeful that one day I'll receive a phone call from the Brockton school system and where I feel that I am heard and respected.
Next, we have Tina Cardozo regarding Cape Verdean Women United.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So my name is Tina Cardozo. I have a grandchild in the Brockton Public School System, and I graduated 3 kids from Brockton High School and from the Brockton Public School System, who have all gone on to higher education. They did really well, of course, with my involvement. And we all know that parental involvement is key. The issues that existed when my kids went to school here still exist today, except back then we were afraid to address the issues, but no longer are we afraid to speak up. Some of the things that I witnessed when my kids were in school, for example, there were oftentimes comments by teachers, negative comments about my kids in front of other children, inappropriate comments. And when I would bring that up to the schools, they were never addressed. There were things like I remember an instance where my daughter received a high five. She was on Channel 5, and it was a big deal to be on Channel 5 getting a high five award, and she was nominated for this by her teachers. And one teacher in particular said, you know, she didn't deserve it to other kids. And those kids came and told me, and I went to the school to address it, and nothing was resolved. So back then, you were afraid to make a big stink about things, and you just let it slide, and you let it slide. These things still continue today. And I feel like we're at a point right now where we need to have frank conversations, open dialogue about things that occur, because teachers are not perfect. Our kids may not be, you know, they have their days where teachers and administration are not perfect either. So the other thing is the lack of communication with administration, cultural humility training, all of that there's still a big need for a lot of that. My kids did, okay, so let me go back, because I'm sorry. I write things down, but then I don't read them. You want people to be involved. You want parents to be involved. You want them to come to school committee. You want them to come to schools and everything. But then, when they do get involved, then what? You know, then they're labeled nasty and angry, and nothing gets resolved. Kathleen Smith has never called my daughter to apologize. She's never, the issue's still there. There's been no resolution. Nobody from her office has reached out. We can't allow things like that to occur. So moving forward with the new administration, we're hoping that when parents reach out, and they're not nasty, angry parents, they're passionate, concerned parents, they may not understand what's going on, so they need an explanation. They need the administrators to stand up and to explain to them the situations and how it works. And, you know, we live in a largely immigrant community. There's a lot of education that needs to go on. And I feel like the administration is charged with doing that. So we're hoping that moving forward, that things will change, and let this incident bring some change in the Brockton school system. So I'm here as a community activist. Cape Verdean Women United, we get a lot of complaints from parents in the school system that we try to address. We try to foster that parental involvement. We do a lot by way of trying to make sure that our immigrant parents, our parents that don't speak English, can understand that they still have a voice. So I vow to continue to do that work along with school committee and administration, so that we can have a better, you know, system of communicating what the issues are and how we fix them. I'm here as a nurse. I'm here as someone who's run for public office in the past, you know, to offer hope and encouragement. And I'm here as a mom, as a grandma, as a voice for people who don't have one, to let you know that we're paying attention now. And it's time for us to stop our old way of doing things and to involve parents and to work together for a better environment for our kids in the schools. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay. The next item on the tonight's agenda is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is the bundling of routine items that the school committee needs to address. Is there any item that a school committee member would like to take out of order or speak about independently? No? Okay, can I have a motion then to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Communication, report of superintendent of schools.
Thank you, Mr. Minicello. So this evening, we have a number of recognitions that have been very special. First, very near and dear to my heart, is the Baron Sully Award. And this year, with our Community School Advisory Board, a selection committee, we actually had, which is a little bit unusual, but we had 2 nominees. So I'd like to invite Margot Masson, the Director of Community Schools, to talk a little bit about the award and to tell us about the first recipient, Tom Kenny.
Thank you, Superintendent Smith. I'd like to begin by saying we actually had 7 nominations, but 2 winners. So I would like to invite Tom to have a seat down next to me. A little history on the Albert Baroncelli Award is that back many years ago, way before me, so we know it was a long time ago, Albert Baroncelli was a member of the school committee. And during his reign, they were proposing to build a new high school, which from what I heard back in the day was a $13 million build, which today we know would be multiplied by tens of 10, 20, 30 times.
25.
25, thank you. So anyway, and as a school committee member, Albert Baroncelli was for the building of the new high school with a condition. And his condition was that all schools in Brockton, not just the new high school, stayed open throughout the days and the nights so that we could bring community in. And we wanted the community members to be able to come in and experience things like arts and crafts and sewing and cooking or any kind of events, but to have the schools open to the community, all day, not just during school hours. So he was a big force behind that. And even after his time on the school committee, he was a big influence in the city in volunteering. So the Albert Baroncelli Award is for volunteerism in the district. So our first winner of the Baroncelli Award this year is Tom Kenny. And I would like to take the time to read the letter his nomination letter that was written by Kevin Cairo, who could not be here tonight. So he writes, I would like to take this opportunity to nominate Mr. Thomas Kenny for the Albert N. Baroncelli Award. Tom was the athletic director at Brockton High School from 2006 to 2011, and after his retirement, he continues to be an incredible asset to the school system and the athletic program here at BHS. Tom served as the president of the Save Our Sports Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization that helps fund numerous sports programs throughout the school district. Tom's dedication to the student athletes in Brockton is second to none, and he can always be seen at various contests throughout the year. Tom also has a great passion for coaching, and he has volunteered his time and talents on numerous occasions to assist with helping out the athletic teams. For example, in the winter of 2016, we did not have any qualified candidates to coach our gymnastics team. Tom did not hesitate and stepped in to assume the role as our gymnastics coach. He organized the tryout schedule, practices, and meets. His enthusiasm and positive attitude helped the team have a successful season, and Tom was instrumental in making that happen. Tom is also active with the local VA hospital. He works with a number of veteran organizations and promotes our sports teams by providing tickets to BHS sports events and veterans in our community. I have known Tom for the past 13 years, and I can attest that he is the most deserving candidate of this award. He is always willing to go the extra mile and help out wherever he can. Tom Kenny, congratulations.
Tom, the only thing I'm disappointed in is we didn't have the cheerleading coaching in there. So all of you have to know, during his time as athletic director, we also had the need for a little while, and honest to goodness, I drove into the parking lot, and having been the former cheerleading advisor, there he was with the girls over, practicing their jumps, and you did a terrific job.
I would like to say a few words. I'm very humbled and honored to receive this award. I'm honored that my name will be added to the list of past recipients. People like Mary Sundstrom, Bobby Burnett, my neighbor Carolyn McKenna, Armand Colombo, people I admire greatly. I'm very humbled to receive this award. As you said, Margot, Mr. Sully lived his life with volunteerism. I was very fortunate to grow up in a community where I was able to see volunteerism firsthand every day. I saw it with George Thomas, Mike's dad, and Lester Johnson, Mr. Peter Ambrose, and Dr. Claire Appling, Bo and Jean Marrow, Mr. Albert Baroncelli, and his fellow school committee member, Jim Jones. These folks taught me how to live my life, and to be recognized for the way you live your life is very humbling. So thank you to Margot and community schools. Thank you to Superintendent Kathy Smith, the school committee, Brockton Public Schools, Mayor Bill Carpenter, and the city of Brockton. It's been a pleasure serving you. Thank you.
Now, where are we going to do this? Come up here, just so. So, Tom, this is the Baroncelli Bowl, and again, this is given to every recipient going back to the first year that we awarded it, which I believe was in the early 70s. So it's a beautiful bowl, it's inscribed, and congratulations.
Thanks, Tom. Good job.
Thank you.
And next, for our second recipient of 2019, and I would like to invite Principal Val Brower to come down and talk to us about Kathleen Kath Perzelt from the Mary Baker School. Kathleen, please join us. Kat.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to read the nomination that was submitted by Melissa Costello and Vanessa Allen on behalf of the Mary E. Baker School PTA. When it comes to supporting the Mary E. Baker School community, Kat Perzelt embodies commitment, dedication, and an exceptional spirit. As PTA president, she works tirelessly to ensure that our school has what it needs, and she does it with a ton of Baker spirit. Kat is organized in everything that she does, from setting up our monthly school stores to organizing book fairs and everything in between. Kat executes seamlessly with excellence. Even when short on volunteers, Kat does what it takes to make the Baker School shine. This year, before parent-teacher conferences, Kat single-handedly set up each and every display, and it was perfect. The teachers, parents, and students had every book on the list available for them to select from with ease and accessibility. With the help of guidance
and on-the-spot fundraising. She even made a point to ensure that every student had the ability to walk away with a book, whether they had money or not. Throughout the school year, the Baker School has several school spirit days, which would not be possible without the time and energy that Kat devotes to making T-shirts. The school shirts are made by hand in Kat's home and then sold at cost to our Baker Bobcats, faculty and staff. Kat takes her creativity and thoughtfulness to the next level by offering customized T-shirts to PTA parents. Each paid member is given the chance to design an image or wording that they'd like to have on the back of their shirt, and Kat does an excellent job at bringing their vision to life. Additionally, because of Kat's hard work, every fifth grade student also gets a graduation shirt with space for their friends to sign their names, so that even if they can't afford a yearbook, they still have a great Baker memory to walk away with. We wear our shirts with pride, knowing that it is not just store-bought. Our shirts are made with love. Kat's thoughtfulness is also expressed by the consideration that she shows to the Baker faculty and staff. She makes a point to recognize our office support team on Administrative Professionals Day with tangible gifts and accolades, and she also expresses gratitude to all the hardworking teachers on Teacher Appreciation Day with a catered lunch that is not only delivered on-site, but set up thoughtfully with thorough and proactive planning. Kat leaves no stone unturned. Kat Brazault has spent countless hours over the past 3 years making the lives of Baker students and families phenomenally successful. She often wears many hats, and sometimes all at once, but she certainly wears them well. We believe that she should be recognized for all she has sacrificed to make sure that students, faculty, and staff have the best experience. Her excellent communication, caring ways, attention to detail, and professionalism are second to none, and we are proud to have her as our fearless PTA leader. We are all very grateful to Kat for the outstanding Baker School spirit that she gives our community each and every day, and we would be honored to have her selected for this award for all that she has done and all that she continues to do. And I certainly can second third and fourth this. Kat is at school with me in the morning at 7:30, and she is with me at the school after school, and she's there for most of the day in between. And for a large school, she single-handedly does much of the work and brings in a significant amount of money that sends all of our kids on field trips, brings in programs for our school. I just don't know what we'd do without you. I really don't. So I can't thank you enough, and you are well deserving of this award.
Kat, obviously you hear what a difference it makes in the lives of all our children, our children and families. So on behalf of all of us, for the Baron Sully Award, congratulations. I know Mrs. Sullivan, you were very pleased. Did you want to say a few words? While I get my voice back.
Okay, I just want to congratulate again, Kat. Some of these things that Mrs. Brower has mentioned that I saw going on in the school, I just thought I was a good PTA leader when I was the PTA, but I never made T-shirts in my kitchen, and she does. And that is going above and beyond. I just felt as though she was an awesome Baron Sully Award winner. So I talked to her PTA members and got them to write this letter, and it's an awesome letter. They did a great job.
Thank you. Congratulations, Kat. Come up to receive your award. Kat, can you talk into the mic, because they're going to hear you on cable all over. This is your opportunity for PACs throughout this district.
Hi. Oh, it's working. So if you ever want to be involved with your school, definitely reach out. If you're as lucky as me, you have a principal who will listen and who will let you become involved with the school, and you can help out in all sorts of ways you're unaware of. There's always a need for something. Thank you.
Thank you for all you do. Also, Tom and Kath's name go on plaques that do hang at our central office, and as I said, they go back to the early 70s, so we can do the math. That's certainly well over 40 years. And next, we have another very special award, and we have a bilingual department that is second to none. I am always so proud statewide to be out there to talk about innovation, how we support our English language learners, no matter where they come from, no matter what challenge is put in front of us. So one of the things that we did back actually when I came on as superintendent, I had the good fortune to be involved with President of the BEA, Kim Gibson, actually Tom Minicello representing the school committee, and myself representing our administration. It was called a district capacity project. And the project that was already chosen was looking to create a global studies school. So this is just one of the things when we talk about this very special award, the Endowed Award tonight, and I am going to ask Kelly Jones to come up and tell us about two very special ladies that were recent recipients of this award, and I know it is based on innovation and support for our many English language learners, and I've asked Kelly to tell us a little bit about the award.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here tonight. Vula Rumus and Gloria Cho won the Andau Award for Excellence in Creativity at MATSAL Conference. And MATSAL is the Massachusetts Association of Teachers of Speakers of Other Languages. It is the statewide association of teachers of English learners. Vula is a past president of MATSAL, and I am a past president of MATSAL. We've been involved statewide for decades now. MATSAL's mission is to promote equity and excellence in the education of English learners. So Ann Dow was the leader of the English as a Second Language program at Harvard University. She passed away in 2003, and they set up an award in her memory. And each year, they have a different criteria for this award. And the 2019 criteria was the 2019 award will be granted for culturally and linguistically responsive teaching. So Lisa Mosley, our English language assessment specialist, nominated the two of them collectively. Normally it's one person, but they work as a team with the leadership of the George School. And I'm going to just read a few words. I won't read the whole nomination, but I'll just read a few words at the end. And I am old and blind, so I have to take off my glasses and see. So, this was for their work with the launch of the Amitié program, the support of the Unidos program, the ongoing dedication to the Juntos program, and the transition into the Global Studies School. So, despite the considerate time commitment needed to establish the curricula and to deliver the needed professional development, Vula and Gloria have emphasized the global vision of their work. They have collaborated with the embassies and the consulates of France, Haiti, Spain, Brazil, and Portugal. They have successfully worked to bring international teachers to the school, to assist teachers in attaining national and international training opportunities, and to connect with other dual language schools across the country. As the program grows, their intent is to connect Brockton students with peers across the globe through online pen pals, joint curricula projects, and possibly even travel opportunities. Their work and dedication have not gone unnoticed and have been reported by multiple publications, including the MTA Journal and the French Embassy that was attached to their nomination. The Manthala George School of Global Studies, once the transition is complete, will be the first three-language elementary immersion school in Massachusetts, so 3 language strands. With the Global Studies approach, the entire school will promote global citizenry, cultural and linguistic understanding, and social justice. Through the high-quality curricula and rigorous instructional pedagogy, the students will be able to contribute in both local and international communities. And because of Gloria's and Vula's dedication, knowledge, and tireless work, Brockton students now, and for decades to come, will be part of an interconnected global community that will work to live the vision of the 3 program names: Unidos, united; Juntos, together; in Amitié, friendship. So I can think of no stronger words to comment on their dedication to this project. So very proud of their nomination and of this award. So,
Vula and Gloria, please come up for your award. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
You know, Kelly Jones amazes me. She says that her eyes are old, but she takes her glasses off to read. I put my glasses on to read, but, you know, I guess they do things different in bilingual. I don't know.
Sure do. Next, I want to invite up a very special young man who is a recent graduate from Brockton High School. And I'm going to actually join him, but I do want to tell you a little bit of a story. I met this young man, Anthony Wright, many years ago. I actually met his mom and many moms at a group, a PAC, a parent group for special needs students. And I've watched Anthony grow. I've seen what a successful young man he has become and has had some challenges along the way, but that certainly doesn't get in the way of our students and our graduates. And I have to tell you, I was in the office one evening and, you know, opening hundreds of emails, and I came upon this very special email from Stacy Wright, his mom. And Stacy wrote a note and said to me, I do want you to know, and up at the high school we have an opportunity for students to put forward words that they would like to be chosen as the speaker at the graduation. And of course we have thousands of students, and I'm sure many entries, and Anthony's wasn't selected at the time, but I read it, and Anthony, I was struggling with what I was going to actually say at graduation as the superintendent, and I read your words, and I knew those were exactly the words that the community had to hear about the graduates at Brockton High. Dr. Cliff Murray also read those words, and I know he shared that in his graduation speech. But when I had the school committee meeting recently, I had to share it with the school committee, and every one of these school committee members wanted to meet you and actually wanted to hear you read the speech. So I would like to ask you to join me here. I'm going to come down there with you, and I think I could think of nothing better than to have Anthony Wright talk to you about what it means to be a student in the Brockton Public Schools. Anthony?
Before you start, Anthony, we were so impressed with your letter. We were so glad that Superintendent Smith presented it to us. Every one of us in the last meeting were impressed with how you looked inside yourself and expressed to us, you know, what it meant to you to graduate and the experiences you had. And it was unanimous that we wanted you to come tonight and read your letter to us in person. So thank you for writing that letter, and we certainly welcome you tonight to present that to us and the whole Brockton community, because this will be on TV, and other people, a lot of people in the city will see it. So thank you very much for what you did.
No pressure.
Thank you guys for having me up here. I like to think this is sort of like my Ronald Reagan charisma that I have. Hello, and welcome to the graduation for the class of 2019. Today is not only a special day for our students, but it's a special day for the families, teachers, and staff members who have helped prepare us for this day. My name is Anthony Wright. Some of you may know me and are aware that I have autism. For me, my family didn't know if this day would be today or 3 years from now. But I made it with the help of so many of you. Class of 2019, we have been working our whole lives for this moment. We earned this, we deserve this. I'm not here to deliver a speech about myself and having autism, but a speech about any student who is struggling with some type of obstacle. Never let it hold you back or make you feel like less of a person. Continue to push yourselves out of your comfort zones, because this is how you'll find out how truly amazing you are. There were days that were tough, but with the support of all the great staff here at BHS, they helped me and you get through many difficult times. The support of family, friends, teachers, coaches, counselors, and countless others has helped us get to where we are today. Maybe it was the boxer, football players, and cheerleaders who sat with you every day at lunch your freshman year so that you never had to eat alone. Or maybe it was the superintendent who came to visit you at your new job. Or maybe it was the director of special education who helped you get that job. Or being part of the track team with the boxer buddies. Or it could have been your teachers and guidance counselors who went above and beyond to make sure you were on the right track. Maybe it was the nurses and paras who were always there helping and taking care of you. Or maybe it wasn't a teacher who wasn't even your own teacher, but had won your siblings and saw your potential and made you feel special. All of these things happened to me, and I'm sure most of you had had some very similar experiences. Maybe the drama club, arts department, or one of your sports coaches that inspired you to be the best person you could be. Or was it a teacher from your freshman year that told you a story about a cousin who wanted to be a lawyer that made you want to study harder? A desire to be the first one in your family to graduate, or be the fourth child to make it to college? Or you just want to prove that just because you have a diagnosis of some type that you will graduate and will go to college. We all need a little push to show our true potential. I am graduating today alongside all of you thanks to my family and all the amazing staff here at Brockton High School. At BHS, your differences don't matter or define you. Our differences define Brockton High School, a place where it does not matter if you're autistic, athletic, or autistic. You are a boxer. These last 4 years have gone by in the blink of the eye, and that time has made us mature and grow. Brockton High has helped us better ourselves and prepare us for the next chapter in our lives. The future is holding great things for all of us. Our desires have pushed us to where we want to be. All of us here today probably can't believe this is happening. All the memories and friends I have made will be in my heart forever. Class of 2019, we did it. We made 4 years of high school worth it. Wishing you all the best in your future endeavors. In the words of Walt Disney, if you could dream it, you can do it. Thank you.
Stacy, could you come up here also? Dad, could you please come? On behalf of all of us here in the Brockton Public Schools, we wish you nothing but the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you so much.
Anthony. Nice job. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So I think it goes without saying why we wanted him to come in person to present it to all of you and certainly the public at large. Wonderful. Good job, buddy.
Next, I wanted to share with you, I think I spoke at the last school committee meeting, and I had an opportunity on June 9th, Sunday, to present. I was the keynote speaker at an international conference at Bridgewater State University. I have to tell you how rewarding it was. You know, at times you're not sure, you know, at first I thought, you know, what am I going to share with these educators from all over the world? And it's amazing the things that we have in common. And I went right to our strategic plan. And I talked about instructional excellence, safe and supportive schools, and family and community engagement. Talked about the challenges, you know, talked about the things that we've done well. Again, it was amazing, the questions. Most of these educators were from the Middle East, obviously a very different part of the world than we're from. So I did want to share with you and thank Bridgewater State. They actually gave me, and I just thought this was fascinating, I wanted you to see, and as you can imagine, coming from another country or going to another country, you know, there's always, you know, some type of gift or some type of acknowledgement. And these, again, I mean, I know we have plaques all the time, but I just thought this was absolutely beautiful. And this was something that was given to me from, sorry, I have to put my glasses on, Tafalia Technical University. And again, to show you this.
Beautiful.
And this also is from Yarmouk University. And I, at some point, maybe have an invitation to go to Jordan. So that'll, to speak to educators and leaders there. So I want to thank Bridgewater. I want to thank the International Conference. And I am so pleased that they were very interested in what's happening in the Brockton Public Schools, had many, many questions. And I just want to thank President Fred Clark and all of the attendees at the conference. So, moving on from there, I'm going to do the budget update and advocacy update. So one of the things I do want to, there has been some question, and I want to let people know, there was question about the lawsuit that was filed by the MTA and a number of other organizations. So what I can say is, you know, I am pleased that this is out there. I just want to make sure that people understand that one of the group that we're working with, what we're doing is trying to make sure that the legislature has their opportunity right now to get through their session, which is looking at school funding first and foremost. We have an invitation, and we do have our legislators coming to meet with us on the 25th of June to be able to talk about looking at the Senate version of their budget, looking at the House version, the governor's version, and looking at what best supports the Brockton Public Schools, because obviously we have to dig deep. Aldo Petronio, myself, and Mike Thomas have been looking very carefully to make sure that the best of each budget is what we want to support our schools. And what we need to see happen beyond that, and when I do hear elected officials in the State House talk about it being on a front burner and it being a priority, the thing that concerns me is when they say there is no timeline, because we do have a timeline, and we've been waiting a long time. And although Mayor Carpenter isn't here, and I have had conversations with our city council, Mayor Carpenter was very firm when we met at the Boston Globe, when we met in the Attorney General's office, and we've had opportunities with our own so-called press briefings. And again, while we are patient, our patience is only going to be for so long. So I want you to understand that we are waiting for the legislative session to end. We are waiting to see what the plan will be going forward, since we are told that this is on a front burner. So I'm not sure if there are any questions or comments about that, because I know I've had a number of questions.
Okay.
Okay. And okay, let me see. Hard to believe, but as far as items to refer to subcommittee, I think I'm done.
Yes, next Tuesday evening, I'm going to have Mrs. Campbell schedule a superintendent's contract subcommittee meeting where we will have to go over the proposed contract with respect to interim Superintendent Mike Thomas, who will be taking the place, not really taking the place, because no one can take your place, but will be stepping into the shoes of Superintendent Smith. So just keep your calendars open for next Tuesday night. I don't think we have any other subcommittee meetings scheduled for that night, do we?
Not for that night.
No. What is the earliest people can be there so that we could schedule? No sooner than what time? Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. 5 of us will be there. Okay. You want it 6 o'clock or 6 o'clock? Okay. So we'll schedule it for 6 o'clock. Oh, at 6. So you want to double book, or do you want to do one at 5:30?
Superintendent contract first.
Yeah.
Cancel the other one.
All right.
Do the superintendent contract first, then if you have to cancel the other one, the earlier the better,
So why don't we do 5:30 then? 5:30 for superintendent contract. You okay? I know you're not going to be here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I just want to make sure you knew I wasn't gonna be here.
Okay. Okay. Anything else for subcommittee?
Yeah, we're referring items to subcommittee, so that's superintendent contract. Are there any other subcommittee? Safety and security.
Okay, but you're going to want to be there for that, correct?
That would be.
So that will be
July meeting, right?
a July, okay, all right.
What is the July meeting?
It is the 16th. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do it 6.
Yeah, we can do one prior to that meeting? Okay, all right.
Tom,
All right.
we get a bid review at 6 o'clock that night,
On which night?
16th.
Tuesday?
16th of July.
Oh, of July, okay.
Bid review, 6 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, good, okay. All right. Okay, so we're all set for that, and then we'll figure out, we will figure out a time for the 16th of July. So we don't have to determine the time for that meeting today, okay? I have faith in Mrs. Campbell.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? No?
I'm going to wait to do the highlights at the end.
Okay. All right, new business?
So we have Manthala George School Global Studies. So we are very excited that we have been working for months on our turnaround plan at the George School. Principal Natalie Pohl and her terrific team presented to the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education back a couple of weeks ago, and we were notified last week by Governor Baker, by teams at the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, that we in fact did receive a 3-year award to support the turnaround efforts at the George School. Is Natalie here? Not sure if she's here this evening. So thank you to Natalie and her team. I know, again, that they will work very hard to implement a plan to support our youngsters, and actually, it's already happening. So congratulations to the George School. Also, I just want to remind everybody out there that the school committee did approve that our kindergarten students would be starting with the first graders at the George School, and it allows the principal at the end to have, I believe is it 4 or 5 additional days? I think it was 5 additional days for screening. So that will happen at the end of June next year, and we'll obviously have, and had communication with parents. There didn't seem to be any additional questions, so we will move forward with that change in the school calendar. And that's it.
Okay, the second item under new business, we have some rather sad news that school committee person Lisa Plant is going to be leaving the city as of July 1st. It's going to be a loss certainly for your ward and the city. We are all going to miss you. With respect to procedures and next steps, there is an ordinance here in the city of Brockton that when a seat needs to be filled, there needs to be a joint session with the school committee and the city council. The mayor basically acts as the secretary and runs the meeting. And we've done this not too long ago. Unfortunately, we lost Mr. Healy, Michael Healy, a few years back. And when Mr. Healy passed away, it was only in the third month into his term. It was in March. He was seated in January, and it was March when he passed away. So there was certainly over 18, 19 months that needed to be accounted for representation in Ward 6. In this situation, we're talking about 5 months to the election, and another month before another school committee person with respect to an election would be able to take the position. So I spoke to Mayor Carpenter. I also spoke to Clerk Zioli in terms of the procedures and making sure that everything is done above board. I had a conversation with Lisa, and I know that Lisa spoke to prior school committee person Richard Bath, who was a school committee person in Ward 2. And I think there was also a conversation with Tom Monahan, who was the Ward 2 city councilor. There, I believe, and I won't speak for you, but I believe that there is some consensus that it might make sense because it's a very short-term situation, and where ex-superintendent, former school committee Ward 2 person Richard Bath still lives in the ward, would be willing to fill the role for 6 months, pledges not to run for the seat, which is important because anyone that fills the role and would be appointed, if they were appointed and plan to run for that seat, to me would have an unfair advantage over the other persons in Ward 2 that would be running for that seat. So something for discussion. The mayor, like I said, was briefed on it and is in agreement if the school committee would choose to have Mr. Bath fill the role for the next 6 months, starting from the point that a joint session is scheduled and actual, vote and ratification by the city council and school committee together. There's nothing to prevent us from the school committee to have a consensus and present that proposal for approval by the city council. And to me, it would make sense because it is a short-term situation. Mr. Bath certainly has the experience, as being the former Ward 2 school committee person, being certainly his whole life in education, professor at LaSalle College. So he certainly is eminently qualified. And, again, his commitment not to run for the seat so that there is no unfair advantage for anyone in Ward 2 that would choose to run. It's a very unique situation where we actually have a former school committee person in Ward 2 who is readily available and would step up to fill in for Lisa. So saying all that, Lisa, let me put the floor to you, give you the floor, and you can talk to us about your feelings on the situation.
Thank you very much. So when it first came to fruition, I was not going to be finishing my term. I did have a conversation with Mr. Bath, and the conversation initially was just an advisory conversation. I have a lot of respect for Mr. Bath, and I had just confided in him as a former school committee member. how I should proceed with this. And during the conversation, Mr. Bath mentioned that he is now retired. So I said, sounds like you'd be the perfect person to fill in as the interim. We did have a conversation. Mr. Bath said he did not, want to seek the position, but he would be willing to step into it as somebody who is very active in Ward 2. He attends our meetings. He has a good relationship with our city councilor. Tom Monahan is aware and gives his blessing. I did have a conversation myself with the mayor as well, and I just want to make sure that Ward 2 is represented for the time that I'm not here. And that really is the most important thing to me, that it's somebody who is active in the ward, who I think could come into the position quite easily until somebody else takes the seat. So that being said, I would like to make a motion to appoint Richard Bath to serve the remainder of the term with the stipulation that he will not run in the upcoming election for Ward 2 school committee member.
Okay, I guess there would need to be a second.
Second.
So further discussion. So just sort of thinking out loud, because this is kind of a unique situation. I think that, sorry, I shut my mic off. I think that we could make a motion for a recommendation for the joint session, that the recommendation for the school committee would be, to appoint, former school committee person Richard Bath. I don't think that we can actually take a vote, a definitive vote and say, well, this is who it's going to be. So I would say that we should tailor the motion that, there is a recommendation for, the reasons stated here this evening, that, and with the support of both the mayor, Lisa Plant, school committee person in Ward 2, as well as Tom Monahan, city councilor in Ward 2, that Mr. Bath be considered and recommended by the school committee as the person moving forward to fill the seat for the remaining, approximate 6 months. But so that's how I think it should be, sort of a recommendation as opposed to.
I'll certainly reword that, and I did understand that it would have to go forward to city council as well. So I knew that making that motion did not make it absolute, and it would move forward. So I will change that motion to recommend the consideration of Richard Bath to serve the remainder of my term with the stipulation that he will not run in the upcoming election for Ward 2 school committee member.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion now on what we just said? No? Mr. D'Agostino.
I just wanted to add, as Ms. Plant and I were talking about this last night, that while Mr. Bath hasn't been in the position, he certainly hasn't turned a blind eye to issues concerning the schools. The first time I met him was when the charter school issue came up, and we were, many of us there, against the charter school, and he came out and also showed up on behalf of Brockton Public Schools at that moment too. So he certainly has, kept his eye on things and been a community member who got involved when we needed him.
I would agree. Mr. Bath certainly has his hand in what is always watching what's going on with the Brockton Public Schools and never hesitates to assist when there's an issue that affects the schools, and he certainly feels strongly about. So, I would characterize him as certainly a friend of the Brockton Public Schools.
And I have to add, when you just heard me talk about the strategic plan, I mean, obviously, our history goes way back to community school days when Richard and I met when he came onto the advisory board. He quickly was running many things, and things that were very successful, opportunities for kids, scholarship. When I came on as superintendent, I could think of nobody better than to run my transition, even coming from the district, to really take a look at what we needed to look at inside and out. Richard headed that up. We had things going on all over the community, listening tours, opportunities, and the strategic plan that you just heard me refer to, which has been there for 6 years. Obviously, things change each year, but it has guided us for a long time. So Richard has some intimate knowledge, about the schools, about the happenings, about school committee workings, and I am grateful for moving forward, to know that there would be somebody, not that you're able to be replaced at all, but that Richard would be able to step in and finish that term.
Okay. Any further discussion? Mr. Gormley and then Ms. Azak? Okay. Ms.
Well, I just wanted to thank Lisa for her time and dedication to this position. You've been a fierce advocate for everything that you believe in, and I appreciate that about you, and I will miss you.
But I was also going to say thank you. It's been a pleasure serving with, you just shut that off. That's okay. I just want to say it's been a pleasure working with you. I can see the passion, and you definitely have the passion, and you definitely are always looking out for the best interest of our students. So you will be missed. We've been pretty much a family for the past almost 4 years, being the same school committee members. On another note, I'm not that familiar with Mr. Bath. Could we, call him down, have him, just give us a little info and as to, she does have a lot of subcommittees that she's on. So just so we can hear from Mr. Bath.
Okay. Does the rest of the committee have a problem with Mr. Bath making a few statements? Yes. Okay. Good evening. Welcome, Richard.
I'm unfamiliar with this new system that you have here. Do I press a button?
You're on right now. Green is go. Yes.
All right. We used to have those little lavalier mics that were going in and out all the time, and most of us sat here doing this, holding this in front of our face. Little brief about me. I think I have a unique situation in terms of all of my children graduated from Brockton High School, but here's the cool part. One graduated in 1990. Another one graduated in 2003, and another one graduated in 2011. So I've been the parent of a Brockton High School student for about 25 years, but they all graduated on time. So I've been involved with the Brockton Public Schools since 1999 when Joe Page asked me to handle the debt exclusion to rebuild all the Brockton Public Schools, and I headed that up. And unfortunately, we weren't successful with that because when we went to the city council, I think, and I don't want to say this too out loud, but I think there was a little bit of confusion between a debt exclusion and what a Prop 2.5 override is. And there are decidedly different things. I myself would never vote for a Prop 2.5 override because I think we pay enough taxes and we just need to figure out how the hell we're going to spend them better. But I've been involved. Community schools, I worked with Kathy Smith. I headed up Kathy's transition team. I remember Mike Thomas when he was heading up the basketball stuff, and I remember saying to Kathy all those years ago, and I think it was around 2000, I think, when you and I started to work. That's a long time. And I said, this guy that runs the basketball situation for us, I said, I think he's going to be a keeper. And here we are, fast forward to 2019, and Mike, you are a keeper. Thank you. I worked with Aldo Petrino on budget stuff. I helped negotiate all of the non-certified contracts during my 4 years on the school committee. I firmly believed in term limitations, and I think, Brett, you and I had a conversation about term limits. So at the end of the 4 years, I felt that I had accomplished all the things that I wanted to accomplish, and I was going to now concentrate on my last child being in college. So all three of my kids who graduated from Brockton High School all went on to get their bachelor's degrees. My oldest boy, Sam, is a commanding officer of a military police unit in Ware, Massachusetts, and he has been recruited by the Air Force, and he's going to become squadron commander in charge of all security for Barnes Air Force Base. My youngest son, Jonathan, graduated from LaSalle College with a degree in criminal justice, and unfortunately, I hate to say this, he left yesterday for Afghanistan for his second tour of duty. Our family has gone through 5 deployments, so this is especially hard because he's already been there once. And so, but he assures me that he's going to be in an air-conditioned office and he's not going to be in harm's way. But that sort of, I have a hard time believing that because he's an Army Ranger, so he's Special Forces. So, and he graduated from Brockton High School, JROTC, JROTC. So my commitment to the Brockton Public Schools has been lifelong. We moved here 30-odd years ago, and we got involved 30-odd years ago. When Mrs. Green headed up the, she was in the special education program because my daughter, who graduated in 1999, was misdiagnosed at Brookline High School, quote, one of the better high schools in the world. She comes to lowly Brockton High School, which everybody gives us a bad rap, and they diagnosed her within a nanosecond. And so she went on to graduate from Brockton High School, then LaSalle College. So we were very thrilled that when they told her in Brookline that she would really not be able to do many things, she kind of proved them all wrong. So, and it's that kind of commitment, you know. And when I was on the school committee, I used to hold my office hours at Shaw's. I would let everybody know that I was going to be doing the grocery shopping at Shaw's between 10 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and that if you wanted to talk to me about any school committee stuff, come on over to Shaw's and I'll be more than happy to meet with you. So, and I learned my lesson. I didn't buy any frozen foods after the first meeting until I was getting ready to get out of Shaw's. So. But I love my time on the school committee. I'm committed to education. I just retired from LaSalle College and was made professor emeritus. So it's a professor for life at the college. So, and I'm looking forward to it. Lisa, I remember when Andy was leaving, and Andy, called me and said, "What do you think about Lisa Plant?" And I said, "I think she's an amazing young woman, single mom, really gets it, understands everything. Why, what are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, I'd like to talk to her about running for school committee." And then I contacted Lisa. You came over the house. We sat in the backyard with your daughters, and we had a great conversation, and the rest is history. So, so I'm committed to whatever. And whatever I can do to help, I'll be more than happy to do it. The idea of filling an unexpired term and then seeking election in that unexpired, for that, as you serve in that unexpired term, I think is unethical. That's why I said to Lisa, if I'm going to do this, I will not seek election because I should not enjoy an incumbency that I wasn't elected to begin with. That should never happen. So whatever happens in November, a new person will take over on January 1, and then I'll go on to hanging out with my then will be 3-year-old grandson. So I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. That's who I am in a nutshell.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you've done, actually. I didn't realize you were that involved. So, wonderful recommendation. So,
and I'm going to be working with your sister on the fundraiser for the Charity Guild.
She's recruiting me for the Charity Guild as well.
Yeah, I just landed David Joseph to do the fashion show. So we're doing a fashion
Very
show.
nice.
That was my business.
Very nice.
No longer. Tom, you're very fashionable tonight. I just want to let you know.
Oh, thank you.
So. Kathy, I missed the pink suit.
I should have worn it tonight.
You all said, Ms. Azak?
Yeah, I just wanted to just clarify, because there are a lot of constituents that are going to be watching this, and they're just going to wonder, what the background is. So thank you for clarifying that. That does make it a lot easier for constituents to understand why the recommendation was made, given that you held that seat years ago. So you're familiar, and coming right in, it's easier than having to train someone new, especially with the limited time. So,
sure.
But I just wanted the constituents to hear it firsthand. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, I just wanted to thank Richard Bath and Lisa Plant. Richard, you for jumping in last minute. You're unbelievable.
That's what us Mission High grads do, Tom.
You're right.
Tim graduated from the same high school I did, up on Mission Hill in Rock Spring.
Wow.
Mission Church
We
High
go
School.
way back. Mission Church, good old Catholic boy.
And I just wanted to thank Lisa. Lisa, I know you do a ton of work. We are really going to miss you, especially I am. And thank you for
very
everything
much.
you've done.
And I'm certainly going to miss all of you. As a parent, you don't really understand how much work goes in when you serve on the school committee. And I'm so thankful that I had this opportunity. It's given me a new respect and a new understanding for the work that happens at a higher level. And I think maybe I'll be a little bit more considerate of that when I do address issues in my children's schools. And it's just been wonderful working with all of you, even when we didn't agree, even when we got passionate about our beliefs. There was always respect. We could always have a conversation. And if I was upset with, say, Mr. D'Agostino right next to me, I could still go sit down and eat a pizza with him afterwards and hash it out and discuss it. And everybody who I've worked with on this committee, I know has always made the decision that they thought was in the best interest of our students. And I thank you all for that.
I just wanted to throw into, I'm going to miss working with you. It has been such a pleasure to get to know you and to work with you. And as you mentioned, we have challenged each other a few times, but we've also built a friendship, and I have to say you have been a loyal friend to me when I've needed it, and I appreciate that.
I think we all agree on that Lisa certainly has been very committed and certainly very vocal when it comes to items that she feels very passionately and strongly about. The thing I admire most about Lisa is, I think, her intelligence. She really asks incredibly good questions. She, reads and makes sure she understands what the issues are. Very impressive when she asks questions of the experts of a certain area. And again, she's always made her decisions, whether we agreed with them or not, in what she believes the best interest of children. Never any, pretense or motives other than what she believes in her heart is in the best interest of students. I will miss you, just like all of us, but I respect you.
Thank you very much, and I know where to find you all after a school committee meeting. I'll be waiting over at the home cafe.
Exactly.
I want to say the thing that I'm most impressed with in having met Lisa and served with her are those three young, incredible women up in the audience. So you have Kirsten, who I don't know as well, Hannah, and Kylie, who, again, when you talk about Lisa being a single mom, she is involved in every aspect of their life. She's running to soccer, she's running to take them to jobs, involvement in the schools, and really that is what it's all about. And when a parent can do all of that and bring up three wonderful daughters headed for much success and still have time on a committee like the school committee, and, when I hear you talk about that, Lisa, it truly is a commitment. It certainly isn't just showing up here for a couple of meetings a month. It is a lot of reading, a lot of research, a lot of discussion, a lot of collaboration, and nobody did that better than you. And again, I appreciate everything you did. I know you will be wonderful in whatever you choose to do in the future. And as a superintendent, I want to thank you for always having an open mind and, as you said, always being respectful.
How about we vote on that motion that she has on the table? This was all under discussion.
Did you get all that?
Yeah. So, all in favor of Lisa Plant's recommendation? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bath. Please invite. We invite Lisa to come up. And all of the school committee, please.
That's what I just said. On behalf of the committee, Lisa, I'd like to introduce the flag. We thank you very much for your service. I did.
Girls, can you come down?
She's all set.
Okay. What else did you want to speak about, Madam Superintendent?
Well, I want to do the recognition, so will you allow me to do my recognition?
Sure.
So as we've done for the past few months, there are so many things going on in the Brockton Public Schools. And before we begin the slideshow, I just want to say that school committee man Brett Gormley and I just came from the Davis School 8th grade, what did we call it? It wasn't a graduation, a recognition or moving on ceremony. But we probably had, what would you say, how many hundreds of people, parents and relatives in the audience, along with our over 100 graduates from the Davis School. So it was wonderful. I don't have pictures yet, but congratulations to Principal Darlene Campbell and her entire staff for putting together a terrific. Okay. All right. Security alert. There we go. Okay, so we have, again, starting out with the Davis School, Community School Day at the Davis, their showcase day. I'm going to guess that's Abraham Lincoln and Malcolm X. And Cleopatra. Again, some other pictures from their day. The Brockton High School Senior Book Award, and these are colleges, and these are our top students in the district that receive books from BC, from Harvard, from William and Mary, from many prestigious colleges. And as I said, our top students from the junior class going into the senior class received these awards. Congratulations. And these are our senior award winners, Brockton High. And this was what we had just a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Student Recognition Night. And it was a special night for senior Jordan Williams. Obviously, we came back in here after that, but not only did we give out hundreds of awards for everything from art to music to athletics to academics, but this young man actually competed the day of his graduation on June 1st. And of course, this is awarding him his high school diploma. Congratulations, Jordan. And again, Student Recognition Night. Best night of the year. Kennedy Commemoration Day. So again, congratulations to Principal Brian Rogan, who has every student out there. I don't know how he does it because he always has beautiful weather. And this year was no different. So we had many student speakers, performances, singing, dancing, talking about the legacy of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, our 35th president. And again, congratulations for all the efforts that go into making this day a success for Kennedy School and all its families. This is the mural, and this ended up with, the weather wasn't so great, so we had to pull this inside. But I want you to see, this is a design that is actually sketched out by one of our 5th grade students at the Arnone School. And each student in the 5th grade had an opportunity to be part of painting this mural, which will be on the Arnone School. I wasn't sure if it would wash off, but this is permanent paint, absolutely beautiful. And it says, "Kindness grows here." And it always has and always will. And this was ladies' tea time at West Middle School. What a great opportunity where we bring back student speakers from the past. I'm always honored to be with Judge Julie Bernard from our courts, and also Reverend Dr. Margaret Howard, who spoke to all the young girls about having passion and following their dreams. We also had Jen Caruso, who is not only a graduate of Brockton High School, graduated from Brown University, and soon to go into looking to be a pediatrician and to get into medical school. Many of us there that evening. That young girl you see with me was Janine Porter. She is a teacher at West and was one of my cheerleaders at Brockton High. And this is a Red House freshman, Mia Dansbury, who finished 10th at the New Balance Nationals in North Carolina. And again, when you talk about community schools, our lifeguards, Michelle Zachary, so these are our newest guards who earn their certification. And don't forget, they staff not only the Manning pool, the Brockton High School pool, the Cosgrove pool, but pools throughout the region. And these are our newest lifeguards. Congratulations. This is the Kids Gilmore Running Club. They reached 501 team training miles. And I can see Coach Nick Robbins. Is Brian McCarthy there also? No, but he is part of this group. Oh, Rory, that's right, that's who that is. So again, congratulations to this group from the Gilmore School. And Brockton High School had a biotech expo. Both the deputy superintendent and I, and many of us from our leadership team, were out there just seeing amazing things with students talking about research, talking about challenges and problems in the field of science and STEM. I found it way over my head. I was trying to understand malaria, and it was just amazing what they do. Thank you to all our science teachers at Brockton High School, Jonathan Shapiro, Dr. Dave Mangus, and so many of our staff there that bring our students to different levels. Again, more pictures. Deputy, you look like you understand. I know. And last night we had the Red and Gold Apple Awards ceremony right here at Brockton High School. We had over 31 award winners from everything from custodians, our teachers, our paraprofessionals, our administrative assistants from all over the district. And again, just very pleased to be able to award this to the people that each and every day go above and beyond for our students in the Brockton Public Schools. And I was very fortunate to have my niece Maria Namey there and was given a Gold Apple Award, a special award by her, and I loved it, and I want to thank everybody for taking the time to do that. It was very, very special. And while I'm saying this, thank you to everybody that makes this: Jane Ferroli, Julianne Andrade, Michelle Bolton, and so many people, Tom Burke, Chartwells, that has the table filled with red apples and goodies. There had to be close to, I want to say with the recipients, maybe 200 people there last night. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tim. You were able to come last evening, and it was just a great event, a great way to end. Okay. And I have, do you have those? Yep. So please switch gears. So I'm sorry I didn't get you out of here sooner this evening. I really was trying. I was trying to beat my record of moving on quickly. But as I look out into the audience, a couple of things I want to say. One is I do see our administrative interns, and I have to tell you what a fabulous job they did. They presented to us just this past week all of their projects, all of their support for the district, and every time we see that kind of work, I know that the district is in great hands with great leaders for years to come. So thank you for everything you have done. And we actually just had this opportunity. This is my last school committee meeting. I don't know where 6 years has gone. And I do want to say, and I think people don't realize, what it takes to have a successful team in place. And the successful team certainly takes the people that surround you. And I know you know this because you've had opportunities to interact with our executive team. And many times they don't get the recognition that they deserve. So I publicly want to thank Deputy Superintendent Thomas. I want to thank Aldo Petronio, who is my Chief Finance Officer. I want to thank June Saber McGuire, who is my Chief Academic Officer. I want to thank Sharon Wolder, who is the Chief Officer of Student Support Services. I want to thank Michelle Bolton, our Director of Communications. I want to thank Dr. Kathleen Moran, our Executive Director of Human Resources. And I want to thank Dr. Ethan Cancel, who has a title too long, data, research, and anything else you can possibly put on their plates. Because they really deserve all the recognition for doing a lot of the hard work. And I love how they interact with you as a school committee. There is a collaboration. There is an opportunity for you to dig deeper in things that you want more information about. And you are unique here. So we just seem to think that this goes on in many districts, and it doesn't just happen by chance. It happens because of people like each and every one of you that took a chance, that put yourselves out there on a ballot and said to people, I'm going to represent you. I'm going to represent your kids. I'm going to make sure that our district is the best it could possibly be. I don't think any of us signed up for what this past 6 years, or however many years you have had the opportunity to serve. We truly did have to deal with challenges. I still say in my sleep, $16.9 million deficit. How did we ever do that? And it wasn't easy. There were times where we met with the public, an angry public. You know, there were times that we really weren't sure how we were going to open those school doors, and yet you did it. You did it because it was perseverance, you did it because you had integrity, and you did it because, as Lisa said, everything you did in the best interest of kids and this community. And I couldn't have been more thankful that every one of you was put in that position and went those extra miles time and time again. I know we've joked about long meetings, but it has made a difference for all the kids in this community. And I keep using this term, and I hope you understand that I truly mean it when I say from the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every one of you for what you have done for the kids in the Brockton Public Schools. So I would like to be the one tonight to give every one of you a Gold Apple Award.
Thank you.
Now I know why there's so many tissues.
Everybody, I can't reach over.
Make you happy.
You can reach over.
Thank you.
Make sure you show everybody where you're going.
Put it on my desk at school. I don't know.
You're going to show them your gold apples? How did you show them?
Mr. Thomas said mine was green.
Vice Chair.
Wow.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Thomas, you're going to have to find something better than gold apples for them. He's going to take you on a big trip.
Oh, hurry up.
So in finishing up, I'm looking out. I see students, I see teachers, I see coworkers. Tony Donegan, who again, when I became superintendent, must have asked me 100 questions. I thank you for making that interview so worthwhile. Kim Gibson, thank you for your kind words the other night, because it has not been easy. You are always a lady, you're always poised, you're always professional, very intelligent, and do lead our Brockton Education Association with integrity, dignity, and I thank you for always being there, willing to have some difficult conversations, and truly a part of our team. Again, I don't want to miss anybody. I see the enterprise out there. Thank you for putting me on the front of the newspaper with bare feet. I can't imagine wanting, anything else. But truly, thank you for that. And I guess I'm going to finish up with, I see Tobias, again, great partner. Thank you. Sue O'Connell. Sue, former Baron Sully Award winner, I think one of my first when I became Director of Community Schools. And why you come to all of these meetings, I am just totally impressed with having been retired from the Kennedy School and still care about the kids in our district. And I hope I haven't missed anybody. Lieutenant Fedaro, love having you on board. I know we're in good hands, and I've said that to you a number of times. And of course, I have Melinda to my side here, and that's going to be very private conversations, because that's going to be some of the toughest things, is to leave my ladies who make me look good every single day. So I do see my husband here, and I usually ignore him, or I forget about him, or something happens. But you know what? He is somebody that has gone many nights without meals, waiting for me to come home, never complains, is at every event that I could possibly have asked him to be at, and truly has been my partner, and in so many other ways has supported me and allowed me every step of the way to do the job that needed to be done in this district. To everybody out there, my final word is, again, I keep telling you that it has been such a privilege, not just the 42 years, but allowing me for the past 6 years to serve as your superintendent of schools. It is probably one of the most important things, after my children and my husband and my family, of what I have done in my life. So really, on behalf of me, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for letting me do a job I love in the city I love for the children that I love. Thank you very much.
We thank you. Now, this is supposed to be about you, not about everyone else. Superintendent Smith will be wrapping up the end of this month. Tonight, unfortunately, is her last school committee meeting with all of us. I would just like to say publicly that one of the most endearing qualities about Superintendent Smith is her love of people, and always making others feel good, as she, just once again did. I know her always wanting to speak to people, have conversations with people about every issue under the sun. She makes people feel comfortable, welcome. She is so poised, she is so intelligent, she is so professional, and we certainly are going to miss you. You, unfortunately, came with 6 of the worst budgets that we've ever had in the Brockton Public Schools. But I truly believe that you were placed in this position for a reason. You were the right person at the right time, because you are one of the many, a part of what makes the Brockton Public Schools special. So you could empathize with staff of the Brockton Public Schools, parents of the Brockton Public Schools, as you were certainly a parent of 2 beautiful women. You're a taxpayer, a resident of Brockton. So basically, you felt and feel what everyone, no matter what position they have in the city, the district. So I really do believe, Kathy, that you came at the right time, and there was a reason for you being our superintendent, because people believe what you say because you are so honest and genuine, and that truly is something that we valued, and that helped this city get through, and this school system deal with some of the worst budgets ever. I honestly wish that you would be here for a budget where you used to say, Joe Beige would say, there's more money than we know what to do with in terms of spending. You deserve a budget like that, but unfortunately, you were at the other end of the scale. But again, I truly believe there was a reason that you were here for these horrible financial and fiscal years. And I know Superintendent Smith always treats people with dignity and respect in how she deals with people and how she deals with the public and parents. And when if people want to say that there's no conversation, all of us that know Kathy Smith go, boy, there's a heck of a lot of conversation there. When is this conversation going to end? She gives everyone their opportunity to speak, and always entertains a two-way conversation with people with dignity and respect. So, Kathy, we're going to miss you, and it was certainly a privilege being your vice chair for these years. I'm going to miss you personally.
And of course, I spoke too soon because I had a couple of apples here for the people that actually allow us to have a school committee meeting. So Cheryl Schuler, could you please come down and get your red apple? And who's behind the scene? Is it Mike? Please have Mike. Can he leave? Thank goodness I have Melinda Campbell to keep me in line. Thank you for always helping us to make every meeting special. Thank you. Miss you. Mike, you didn't expect to come down out of the booth, but so this is who puts on our show each and every school.
Would anyone else like to say anything? Mark?
Yeah, I pretty much second Mr. Minicello's comments. I know that probably you would have rathered not had the financial issues to deal with that in your time. However, what we needed was the fierce, passionate, strong advocate that you were. What we needed was the person who was going to go all over the state and make sure everybody heard what was going on here. And you were certainly that person. So as much as, like I said, I'm sure you would have rather preside over times when finances were different and we could have done some very different things. You were the person we needed at this time. So I appreciate that. I know that, like I said, you dragged Aldo all over the state and made sure everybody was going to hear it, and that's what we needed. And I think that hopefully, unfortunately, you won't be here for the fruits of those labors, but I think that we will all benefit from it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kathy, Superintendent Smith, it's been a pleasure for the past 6 years. You have represented us. You've always had eloquent words. Always made sure that Brockton was well represented, and made sure that everyone heard Brockton's voice. And thank you. It's been a pleasure working with you, and we wish you so much success in your future. I'm sure, Jerry, we're going to have to go out to dinner sometime. Poor Jerry, but thank you so much, Jerry. Poor Jerry.
Poor Jerry.
Poor Jerry. We're all going to keep Jerry
I should
busy.
start a chorus.
Poor Jerry.
And again, thank you. I have to admit, your retirement party was one of the most entertaining retirement parties I have ever attended. So for those that didn't get a chance to see it, I mean, social media has some pictures and some info on it. Same with the Enterprise, but definitely you could see there was so much love in the room, and so many people were there, from college years to current. So you're well loved, and we are going to miss you.
It was a labor of love. It was a labor of love. Thank you to everybody.
You're welcome.
And all of you, every one of you was there.
Brett, and then Timmy.
Well, I've been trying to think about what to say at this moment for a while, actually. But one of the qualities that I have always appreciated in a person is a work ethic. And, as a coach, I know Mike will appreciate this. You always want to have someone on your team that's going to outwork everybody else and raise that level of work ethic to theirs. And you are one of the hardest working people that I've ever been around, and I really respect that about you and admire it. Driving by Central late at night, and I see your car there. And also your longevity in the district is amazing, really. To be in the field myself, to think about doing this for 42 years kind of blows my mind. So I really appreciate you, and I want to wish you well in your retirement.
Thank you. And I have to tell you, I said to my husband, so June 30th is a Sunday. And I said, I can't imagine not parking in that parking spot anymore. So I said, on Sunday night, you're going to have to take me by there one more time so I can put my car in that spot before Superintendent Thomas comes on board on Monday. So if you see my car there Sunday night, I am struggling.
Timmy?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I, number one, have never met anybody as smart as you, that works as hard as you. I know he said he sees your car there late at night, but I've seen it there on Sundays, all weekends, all the holidays. And to be honest, I parked there once myself because you were going away on vacation. And we come out, you were there. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it.
And I had called Deputy Superintendent Thomas and said, get Frank Vidaro and get this car out of there. I don't know whose this is.
I just wanted to ask you one more time, are you sure you don't want to stay?
I'm retiring June 30th, so thank you, Tim. You're so good to me.
Thank you for a job well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Lisa, and then Judy.
Thank you. Kathy, I just want to thank you for always being available, approachable, respectful, patient with us when we came on to this role. And Tom has told us several times how lucky we are to serve with you. And, you know, when we do have our differences, he just has wonderful things to say about you and reminds us that it could be a lot worse than the experiences we've had, even when we disagree. And I can't imagine serving with another superintendent, and I'm glad I'm not going to. So thank you for all you've done.
Thank you, Lisa.
I just wanted to say, Kathy, that I think that we're the lucky ones for getting to just serve with you on the school committee, because we could see definitely she's a hard worker. I've never seen her tired. I mean, her energy is unbelievable. And when she speaks to the parents, she calls into the homes to speak to the parents so that they can hear her speaking to them, and she talks to them like they're her friend. And also, she tried to make, and she did make, the Brockton Public Schools the best district despite deep budget cuts, and that is really an amazing thing to do. Thank you.
Get to adjourn?
Oh, we have something for you. Interim Superintendent Thomas.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's from the school committee.
That's absolutely
With deep
beautiful.
appreciation for your 42 years of excellence and service in the Brockton Public Schools. Superintendent Kathleen Smith, Brockton School Committee 2019.
That is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Can I get a picture with all of you?
Yes.
We can have this.
No. He's so bad.
Thank you very much.
And please join us after the meeting for a little cake with Kathy.
And there should be tea. You are getting the best superintendent possible. I could not be more excited about this leadership in the district. So how about a hand for
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.